Welcome to another The Essential Invasion series video. In today's video, we're gonna take a look at this kind of 3-space extension. And on top of that, we're gonna learn what happens if black invades over here. And in this situation too. And also in this situation, what happens if black invades here or peeps over here. Now let's get started with the most basic one first. Let's assume black has a stone over here. Now, if black somehow immediately invades over here, then white, always remember, you do not play this Kosumi. Although AI says it's okay, but it gets really complicated. First, white playing this move means I am going to capture you. So there's no way white's gonna try to not kill these black stones. So white is going to hane when black tries to live. This does not work. Black is going to cut. When white captures this stone, there is a double Atari. If white captures this stone, then black can capture this stone, and white is basically, you can resign the game from here. That's why when black attaches over here, white has no choice but to hane from outside. When black plays here, you can obviously see this cutting point. There's no way white is going to play here, get the influence, and let black live. So white is going to secure this cutting point. When black says, can I go back? Again, white is not going to get the influence. White is going to try to go for the kill. When black tries to come out, white still has a chance. White could play this and it's gonna turn into a very complicated game, but someone playing all these moves is never not cut over here. And black is going to Atari, white needs to connect, and when black extends over here, these 4 white stones are dead. White could first try to capture black by playing here, and even if white plays here, black can try to play this, trying to connect back, and play here. Even if white plays this one, black can simply connect. Black is 1 liberty more. Black has 1 liberty more than white. So even if white plays here, black is able to capture all the white stones. That's why when black plays here, you do not play this Kosumi unless you know exactly what you're doing. But even at that point, this is recommended. So white is going to attach over here. If black plays this bump, again, you do not extend. It's gonna turn into a very messy game, so just extend. When black hanes on the second line, if this side has a black stone or your opponent's stone and this stone is on the first line, then you just keep extending. Let your opponent crawl as many times as he or she wants, because as you're doing that, you are hurting your opponent's corner. Even if there is a 3-4 point, you can let him crawl like this, but from here, you can try to do this hane or something, but there really is no point. Just grab your influence. If you're watching this, you're not a high dan player, which means even if there is your opponent's stone on the 3-4 point, you can just keep pushing. You don't have to try to hane or something, because this level of playing, this influence is worth much more than whatever is gonna happen when you hane. From here, what if black, instead of playing here, black bumps over here? Then the easiest way to deal with it is just play here. Someone playing these kind of moves will always hane back. Then you can make this tiger's mouth. If your opponent, for some reason, makes this exchange, you just follow his lead. And when black pushes out, just play here. If black plays here, then you can counter Atari. When black captures the stone, you Atari these 3 black stones. When black connects, although AI recommends this hane or extension, but just don't even worry about it. Form a tiger's mouth, be safe. And if you look at this, although black got strengthened up this corner and erased some of your points, But your stones are more or less settled and black got this floating group out of nowhere. Even if you play this, that's worth more than whatever is over here. So this favors white. The answer is just cut it. Black is going to Atari again. What if, when white attaches over here, black hanens up? This is actually a very common thing to see in Q games, and the answer is very simple. You just cut, black is going to Atari again, you extend, when black connects. Here's the tricky part. You do not cut the connection. You don't even make these exchanges. All you gotta do is just block from top, force black to connect back, and from here you can use this move to control this black stone, and black still needs to capture that stone, and you can Atari. When black extends, you can play away. It looks like black solidified this part of the corner and erased like 3, let's say 4 points, and got extra points over here. But with this stone, let's see. Yeah, that's worth more than that. So you don't have to worry about you losing these stones. Now that we know how to answer this immediate invasion, now let's take a look at this variation. When black has another stone, 2 space apart from this single stone. Again, you do not play this Kosumi. You cap from top. This one, we already know how it goes. You just turn it around and make a floating group out of black. If black plays here, then white is going to play here. When black hanes, it's same as the previous lecture, you double hane. If black Ataris, then connect up. If black captures this stone, counter Atari, and black captures, you capture these 2 black stones. It's a pretty even exchange, but this group was in no way a settled group. Black can use it to get some influence out there. If black lacks points, black can take away some points. But black solidified white and it turned into a thickness. So that is really good for white. What if after black cuts, black connects up? Then all you gotta do, just Atari, Atari, and black extends, secure your cutting point, and even if black plays something over here, trying to live, you can let black live, it's okay, like this. But black doesn't really have to live. It's black's mistake. Let him own it. And this result is really, really, really great for white. At this point, what if black plays this Atari and connects up? Very simple. Take away the eye. Black has only 1 eye. Black is dead. White basically won the game over here. When white double haned, what if black immediately connects up? Then it's still same as the previous tutorial we had. White can bump here. Black playing these kind of moves will always play something like this. And you can make a turn. These are dead. Let's see what happens. Black is going to Atari here. White connects. Black extends. White plays here. Black tries to connect back. White blocks. Even if black plays here, white can connect. Black can play here, Atari, everything is dead. If black immediately blocks, then white can connect up. There's no way black is gonna live because the liberty is just not enough, like this. Now that we know how to answer black's invasion when black has a stone 2 space apart from this single stone, let's take a look at this one. But the thing about this one, when your opponent approaches you like this, although pros don't answer that, but just jump. It makes everything really simple. But for some reason, there were some other urgent things to do. You didn't answer and black invaded. Simple. Again, you do not. See how much I'm emphasizing this? You do not play this Kosumi. You just attach when black plays here and just connect up. Black has to connect back too. And from here, technically you can play away, but if you're not a mid to high down player, just jump to be safe. This stone is saving these stones, but at the same time, it's getting some stones in the middle, which favors you when you have some fights happening in the middle of the board. On top of that, if a ladder happens, this could be a ladder breaker. So just be safe and escape. Now, let's take a look at this picture. What happens if black plays here? Then you do not play this. You play Kosumi because you have this tiger's mouth going on. If black tries to escape, you can block. Black cannot play this attachment because you can hane from inside. Even if black cuts, you can capture this stone and there's nothing black can do from here. At best, black can play here and connect back. But white stones got too thick. This stone is now a garbage stone. It's pretty good for white. So black has no choice but to play here. If black is trying to save everything and white can block, even if black plays here, white can just block. When black plays here, white can cut. Although AI says you play something else. But we're still Q players or lowdown players. Just be safe, do your things. You don't have to be fancy. White connects, black plays here. The difference is white does not die. Black stones die. The first move would be here. Black is going to block. You block. Even if black plays here, you just play here. And whatever black does from here, black dies. Let's see, black plays here for some reason. White plays here, black plays here, and boom, everything is dead. You can try out other variations on your own, but whatever happens, black dies. Before we move on, let's take a look at this one. When black invades, if white plays this, then black is simply going to play this nobi. If white blocks here, then black can connect back from there. If white plays there, then black can connect back from there. That's why when white has this stone over there and black invades, white plays this Kosumi. It prevents black playing this kind of things because now, even if black plays that, white gets to cut black's connection. I would like to emphasize one last time. When black invades over here, unless you have a stone over there, you do not play this. If you don't have a stone jumped up, you do not play this Kosumi. And other thing is, when black approaches here, other than this jump, white could also play this one if there is no value in the middle. But as amateur players, I would recommend you to always play this jump instead of this second line move. The second line move is really great for endgame, but other than that, it's not that good. Just get your stones toward the middle. It's gonna favor you later on. Now let's take a look at a very annoying one, which is this peep. First of all, AI says just play this and turn it into a floating group, grab it out and fight. But that gets too complicated unless you know exactly what you're doing. Just play here. And from here, black cannot push and cut because you're gonna see why. From here, white is going to Atari. When black extends, white blocks. When black makes a turn, white is going to hane. And from here, if black plays here, then you can just capture this stone. Although it seems like black is connecting back, but if black connects back, then white can cut and capture everything. If black connects up, then you can extend. Even if black plays here, white can play here. And black playing here is a self-Atari, immediately dies. So when white pulled back, black also pulls back. From here, white is going to pull back one more time. When black plays here, white is going to block, play here, and white plays this move. This is looking for two things. If black plays something over here, then white is going to play here. If black saves these stones, white can probably make another exchange and then captures these stones. In this situation, if black jumps out trying to save these stones, then you can hane first. When black hanes back, you're gonna have to decide how to deal with this hane depending on the stone situation over here. If your opponent's stone is on this first line, then you don't even have to double hane. Just keep pushing. When black is trying to live, you can also make this exchange, make it painful, and leak into black's corner. If there is a stone on the third line, then you double hane. And doesn't this seem familiar? We have done it a few times before. If black connects up, then you just do this. When black plays here, the whole thing is dead. If black Ataris first, then you can connect. If black plays here, it's okay, just let him have it. Boom. Really good exchange for you because black has this floating stone over there. After cutting, if black simply connects, then you can Atari. And Atari, when black goes out, just secure this cutting point and you're able to read it out. And from here, I'm not going to explain all the variations, but all you got to remember is that it favors white. If you have your own stone over here, then you don't really have to double hane or something. You can just keep doing this and block here. You'll be fine. In this picture, what if black, instead of pushing and cutting, simply jumps out? Then you too connect your weakness and move on with your game. There really isn't much to it. What if black plays here? Then again, white can play here. If black plays something over there, you can probably make another exchange. From here, it can get complicated. White is going to push and cut over there. Black captures this. White captures this. It can get very complicated. It's gonna turn into a whole another lecture, but all you gotta remember is that when black cuts, you extend this and rest. I'm gonna leave it up to your reading ability. Let's recap the whole thing just briefly. First, if black immediately invades, you do not play this Kosumi. This Kosumi is only for when you have another stone over here and you're able to form this tiger's mouth. Other than that, you do not Kosumi. Although AI says it's okay, but it gets too complicated. This is much simpler. If black crawls toward that side, depending on the game situation, if your opponent's stone is here and it's also on the fourth line, then you can let your opponent keep pushing, crawl for life, and leak into the corner. And remember, you do not extend like this. It gets very messy. If your opponent bumps over here, then you can make this exchange first. And when black plays here, block and turn around and turn it into a floating group. Like this. When black captures, Atari, play here. Again, although AI recommends these kind of things, just be safe. It only drops about like 2%. Don't worry about it. It's really good for white. From here, even if your opponent's stone is on the third line, if you don't want to get into any complicated fights or anything, just push and get your influence. It's going to save you a lot of troubles. When black has a stone over here and still invades, now again, you do not play this Kosumi, you play this one. If black bumps toward this direction and you remember the whole thing, hane, and just connect up, black has a floating group. If black bumps toward this direction, then because this is 2 space apart, you double hane. Just remember 2 space, double hane. If it's 1 space, then you just connect up, black connects up, although you technically don't have to spend another move, but just be safe, 2 space jump. Now, when black plays here, it's actually pretty good to answer this. Although pros and AIs don't play this anymore, but it's good to answer. When black invades like this, now you do not play this. If you invade your opponent like this and your opponent attaches like this, then all you gotta do is nobi. You can connect back up either way. But if your opponent invades like this, then all you gotta do is this kosumi and this dies. When black peeps, although this connecting up is possible, but that again turns into a very complicated thing. Just pull back, and black pushing and cutting does not work. So black has no choice but to back up, and you back up too. And black pushing and cutting still doesn't favor black. So black has to play something over here, and you connect up. That's it. Very simple, right? These variations, although they seem like a lot, but there are logic behind them. The first thing is that you have to remember you don't get to capture your opponent's invading stones. Just keep that in mind. Just always try to not kill your opponent's stones, then you'll be fine. If you try to kill your opponent's stones, then you're gonna have a very tough game. And the second thing is, always try to connect up. Even if it means you're connecting up on the second line. Just connect up and you'll see the game is not going to be very hard for you because all your stones are settled, safe. And if you connect it up on the second line, that means your opponent has a floating group. You can launch an attack, get your profit, win the game. Very simple. Alright, that's it for today's video, and we will see you in our next video, Kifu spread or tutorial. So see you soon.